My husband left me for his coworker. Now she's mad I refuse to have a relationship with him. My ex Tom left me for Tammy 2 years ago. The first time I met her at a work event while I was 8 months pregnant with my youngest. She literally looked me up and down and said, "Better up your wife game or I might steal him." I laughed it off, thinking she was joking. 3 months later, she actually did it. This woman showed up at our house with Tom to help him pack the day he moved out. While I was holding our crying baby, she tried pulling me aside for a one-on-one conversation about how she wanted our relationship to work going forward because she was going to be a permanent part of my life. Then she winked and said, "Told you I'd steal him away." Honestly, I'm thankful she did, because when Tom made a comment defending her by saying, "She's only 23. Her brain isn't fully developed yet," I got the ick so bad it turned my heartbreak into pure relief. This man really left his family for someone whose frontal lobe hasn't finished forming. I got everything in the divorce, the house, most assets, everything. We agreed to 50/50 custody because I wanted the kids to have both parents. I stay civil at school events and sports games, so there's no drama. But outside of co-parenting, I couldn't care less about either of them. Everything was fine until last June. Tammy showed up at pickup instead of Tom and practically skipped toward me, shoving her hand in my face to show off this massive engagement ring. She was going on and on about wedding plans and then said she wanted me as a bridesmaid along with my daughters as flower girls. I just looked at her and said nothing while loading the kids' stuff. She kept talking about color schemes and venues, and I kept giving her one-word responses. She got visibly upset and left. A few hours later, Tom texted me saying I was being unnecessarily difficult and that Tammy was just trying to include me in their lives. September came around and the same thing happened. The second I opened my car door at pickup, Tammy blurted out, "I'm pregnant." Then she put her hand on her stomach and said, "Tom's finally getting a son." I looked at her and deadpan replied, "I'm sure Lord Tom is thrilled to finally have an heir to carry on his noble bloodline and inherit his lands and titles." She didn't find it funny. Tom called me later asking why I couldn't just be happy for them. I didn't see much of Tammy after that. Tom handled most of the pickups through December. I figured maybe she was having a rough pregnancy or finally got the hint that we weren't going to be besties. Then today happened. Tom pulled up for pickup with Tammy in the passenger seat. As they both got out and walked toward me, I noticed immediately that Tammy wasn't showing anymore. She looked like she'd been crying for days. They reached me, and Tammy's eyes filled with tears. She said quietly, "We lost the baby." There was this heavy silence, and they both just stood there looking at me, clearly expecting some kind of reaction. I didn't say anything to Tammy. I just turned to Tom and said, "Our second daughter has a birthday party tomorrow at 3 p.m, and the oldest has gymnastics at 5 p.m. Don't be late." Tammy completely lost it. She started screaming at me right there in the driveway, calling me a heartless B word and saying I was a terrible person. Tom jumped in, saying I could at least show a little humanity toward Tammy, and that regardless of my personal feelings, she is my kid's stepmother and deserves basic respect. I looked directly at Tom and said, "I don't care about what you're going through. Outside of our kids, I don't care about either of you, and I don't owe Tammy anything. Not my sympathy, not my friendship, nothing." Tom called me an a-hole along with several other choice words, grabbed the kids and left. A week passes quietly until bedtime when my oldest asks if I really told Daddy she wasn't his favorite. My stomach drops. She says Tammy's been texting her on her school iPad, telling her things about me. I check the device and find months of messages I never knew about. The latest one sent today says, "Mommy's planning to move far away and leave them behind." At the bottom, there's a message I haven't opened yet, marked urgent. My hands are shaking as I click on it. The image loads, and I feel like someone punched me in the stomach. It's a photo of me, clearly photoshopped, standing way too close to some random guy I've never seen in my life. The caption underneath reads, "Mommy has a new boyfriend and doesn't want you anymore." My daughter is sitting on her bed, hugging her stuffed rabbit, looking at me with these huge, watery eyes. "Is it true?" she whispers. "Do you have a boyfriend? Are you leaving us?" I sit down next to her and pull her into my lap. "Baby, no. That picture isn't real. I don't have a boyfriend and I'm never leaving you ever." But Tammy said. "Tammy lied," I say firmly, trying to keep my voice steady even though I'm absolutely fuming inside. "That's not a real picture. Someone edited it on a computer to make it look like I was with that man, but I've never even met him." She sniffles into my shoulder. Why would Tammy lie? Honestly, I have no idea how to answer that in a way an 8-year-old would understand. Sometimes adults make really bad choices, I finally say. And Tammy made a really bad choice by sending you that. After I get her calmed down and tucked in, I go straight to my laptop. I'm not letting this slide. I screenshot every single message Tammy sent, and there are dozens of messages going back 6 months that I had no clue existed. Your mom complained to your dad about having to take care of you. I heard your mom tell someone she wishes she never had kids. Your dad loves you way more than your mom does. When your mom yells at you, you can always come live with us. My hands are literally shaking as I scroll through all of it. This woman has been systematically trying to turn my daughters against me for half a year, and I had no idea. The next morning, I'm at the school before the first bell even rings. I march straight into the main office and ask to speak with the principal and the tech coordinator. The secretary sees my face and doesn't even ask questions, just picks up the phone. Within 10 minutes, I'm sitting in the principal's office with my phone out showing them everything. The tech coordinator, this guy named Gary who's been at the school forever, looks at the messages and his face goes from confused to concerned to outright angry. How did she even get access? I ask. I thought you guys monitored these things. Gary taps away on his laptop for a minute. Someone created a parent account under the name Tamara Johnson. It was flagged as your co-parent, so the system allowed me privileges. Tamara is her legal name, I say, but she goes by Tammy, and she's not my co-parent. She's my ex-husband's girlfriend. The principal, Mrs. Hernandez, leans forward. So, she created a false account to bypass our security protocols and has been sending inappropriate messages to a minor for 6 months. I confirm, showing them the earliest message. Look at the date on this one. Gary's already typing. I'm blocking the account now and flagging it. This is actually a pretty serious violation. We'll need to file an incident report. I want every messaging app blocked on my daughter's iPads. I say no exceptions. If a teacher needs to communicate with them, they can go through me. Done, Gary says without hesitation. I'll have it implemented within the hour. I thank them and head to work, but I can barely concentrate. At lunch, I do something I probably should have done months ago. I create a document with every single message Tammy sent, organized by date and category, manipulation tactics, lies about me, attempts to damage my relationship with my kids. By the time I'm finished, it's 12 pages long. That afternoon at pickup, Tom's already waiting by his car when I pull up. I get out, my phone in hand with the screenshots ready. We need to talk, I say, walking right up to him. He sighs like I'm bothering him. Look, if this is about last week, it's about Tammy texting our daughters for 6 months behind my back. I shove the phone in his face. Read it. He takes the phone, squinting at the screen. At first, his face is neutral, kind of annoyed. Then I see the moment it clicks. His eyes widen. He starts scrolling faster, and his jaw literally drops. This is wait, when did she? He keeps scrolling, and I watch his face go pale. She told them you were leaving. Keep reading, I say coldly. It gets better. He reads the photoshopped image message, and his hand actually trembles a little. She wouldn't. She did. I snap. That's a fake photo, by the way. I've never met that man in my life. But our 8-year-old daughter asked me last night if I had a new boyfriend and was planning to abandon them. Tom runs his hand through his hair, which is this thing he does when he's stressed. Okay, look, I'm sure Tammy was just trying to, bond with the girls or something. She's young. She doesn't always think. Do not. I cut him off, my voice shaking with rage now. Do not stand there and make excuses for this. She told our children that I don't want them. She photoshopped a fake image to make them think I'm replacing them. This isn't bonding, Tom. This is psychological abuse. You're overreacting. Our youngest is wetting the bed again, I say flatly. Something she hasn't done in 3 years. Last night she woke up crying because she had a nightmare that I left her at a gas station and drove away. The pediatrician has referred both girls to a therapist because of the emotional distress. But sure, I'm overreacting. That shuts him up. He stands there staring at the phone, and I can literally see him trying to process it. Finally, he hands it back to me. I'll talk to her. Oh, you'll do more than talk to her, I say because Tammy doesn't get to contact our kids anymore. Not through the iPad. Not through you. Not at all. And if I find out she's been near them, we're going back to court. He frowns. You can't just watch me. I get back in my car and drive off before he can say anything else. That night, my youngest has another nightmare. She wakes up screaming, and when I run to her room, she's tangled in her sheets, sobbing. It takes me 20 minutes to calm her down. She keeps asking over and over if I'm really here, if I'm staying. I'm not going anywhere, I tell her, stroking her hair. I'm right here, baby. I'm always right here. But even after she falls back asleep, I can't. I sit on the floor next to her bed, watching her breathe, feeling this massive weight on my chest. This is what Tammy did. This is the damage her little messages caused. The next day, I take both girls to their pediatrician for a follow-up. Dr. Patel is this non-nonsense woman in her 50s who's been seeing my kids since they were born. She talks to each of them separately, asking gentle questions, and then calls me into her office alone. I'm documenting everything, she says, typing on her computer. The bedwetting, the nightmares, the anxiety, and I'm putting in a referral for a child psychologist. Your daughters are exhibiting signs of emotional manipulation. Can you put that in writing? I ask. She nods. I'll have a formal report ready by tomorrow. You might need it. When Tom calls later that evening, he sounds different. Tired, maybe defeated. I talked to Tammy, he says, and she admitted she sent the messages. There's a long pause, but she says she was just trying to help the girls understand both sides. She didn't mean any harm. I actually laugh out loud at that. She photoshopped a fake picture to make them think I'm abandoning them, Tom. What part of that is helping? I know, he says quickly. I told her it was wrong. She's upset about it. She's upset. I repeat slowly. Our daughters are in therapy because of what she did and she's upset. I didn't mean it like that. I don't care what you meant. I interrupt. Here's how this is going to work. Tammy doesn't get to see the girls. Not at pickup. Not at drop-off. Not during your custody time. Nothing. Until she gets professional help and I see proof that she understands what she did wrong. I can't just kick her out during my weekends with the kids. Tom protests. She lives with me. Then the kids won't be coming to your place. I say simply, you can see them somewhere else, a park, a restaurant, whatever. But if Tammy's there, the visit doesn't happen. You can't do that. He says, but there's no real conviction in his voice. Try me. I hang up. The following Saturday is supposed to be Tom's weekend. He shows up at my door at 9 o'clock in the morning with Tammy sitting in the passenger seat of his car. I watch them through the window. Tom gets out. Tammy gets out. They both start walking toward my front door. I don't even let them knock. I open the door just enough to stick my head out. The girls aren't going anywhere if she's here, I say, nodding toward Tammy. Come on, Tom starts. Don't be ridiculous. I was very clear about this. I cut him off. You can see the kids alone or you don't see them at all. Tammy steps forward and I swear she's got tears in her eyes already. I just want to talk to you, please. I never meant to hurt anyone. You told my 8-year-old that I don't want her, I say coldly. You don't get to just talk after that. I was trying to prepare them, Tammy bursts out. For when I become their stepmom, they need to know that I'm going to be a big part of their lives and that You're not their stepmom, I interrupt. You're their father's girlfriend, and right now you're not even that in their lives. Tom, you have 5 seconds to decide. Take Tammy and leave, or send her home and come back alone in an hour. Tom looks between me and Tammy. I can see him doing the math in his head, trying to figure out which fight is easier to deal with. Finally, he sighs. Tammy, just wait in the car. Are you serious right now? Tammy's voice goes up about 3 octaves. You're going to let her control you like this? Just wait in the car. Tom repeats firmer this time. I'll take you home and come back. Tammy stares at him like he just slapped her. Then she turns and stomps back to the car, slamming the door hard enough that I hear it from inside my house. Tom lingers on the porch for a second. This is temporary, he says quietly. I need to figure out how to handle this with Tammy. She's going through a lot right now with the miscarriage. And that's not my problem, I say. And it's definitely not our daughter's problem. When you're ready to put your kids first, call me. I close the door. My oldest comes downstairs a few minutes later. Was that Daddy? Yeah, but he had to leave. He'll be back in a little bit to spend time with you guys. Was Tammy with him? She asks, and there's something in her voice. Fear, maybe, or dread. She was. But she's gone now. It's just going to be you, your sister, and Daddy today. The relief on her face is so obvious. It breaks my heart. True to his word, Tom comes back an hour later, alone this time. The girls spend the afternoon with him at the mall and come home happy, chattering about the pretzels they got and the toy store they went to. It's the most normal they've seemed in weeks. That night after they're asleep, Tom texts me. Tammy's really upset. She feels like you're keeping her from the girls on purpose. I type back, I am, because she traumatized them. She's not a bad person. She just doesn't understand boundaries yet. I stare at that message for a long time. Then I type, she's 23, not 13. She knows what she did was wrong. She just doesn't care. He doesn't respond. Over the next week, things are quiet. Tom takes the girls twice, both times without Tammy. My youngest stops wetting the bed after the third night. The nightmares don't completely go away, but they're less frequent. I'm starting to think maybe we're getting past this. Then the therapist calls. Her name is Dr. Brennan, and she's been seeing both girls twice a week. I've talked to her a few times, but she usually keeps the details confidential unless there's something I need to know. I think we need to have a meeting, she says when I pick up. There's some information that came out in today's session that you need to hear. I meet her at her office the next afternoon. She's sitting behind her desk with a folder open in front of her, and her face is serious. Your oldest told me something today. She starts about Tammy. What did she say? She said that Tammy has been telling her that Tom only wanted a son, that he left you because you gave him daughters instead, and that the girls are disappointments to him. I feel like all the air just got sucked out of the room. She said that to an 8-year-old. According to your daughter, yes, doctor. Brennan confirms. She's been carrying that around for months, believing that her father doesn't love her because she's not a boy. It's been affecting her self-esteem significantly. Did she tell Tom this? She says she didn't want to hurt his feelings. I put my face in my hands. How did I not notice? You're not a mind reader, Dr. Brennan says gently, and kids are very good at hiding what they're feeling when they think it will protect someone they love. What matters now is that we address it. She hands me a written summary of her findings. It's clinical and professional, but the words hit like a hammer. Emotional manipulation, parental alienation, long-term psychological harm. At the bottom, there's a recommendation. No contact between the children and Tammy for a minimum of 6 months, with possible reintroduction only after Tammy undergoes counseling and demonstrates understanding of appropriate boundaries. I emailed Tom the report that night with a subject line that just says, read this. He calls me 10 minutes later. This is insane, he says, but his voice cracks halfway through. She told them I don't love them because they're girls. That's what the therapist says. I love my daughters, he says, and I can hear that he's crying now. I would never. I didn't leave because of them. I left because of us. They have nothing to do with that. I know that, I say quietly, but they don't because Tammy convinced them otherwise. There's a long silence. Then what do I do? You need to tell them, I say. You need to sit down with both of them and tell them directly that you love them, that you're proud they're your daughters, and that Tammy was wrong. And Tammy? Tammy doesn't see the kids for at least 6 months, maybe longer. The therapist recommended she get help. And honestly, Tom, I agree. She needs professional help. Another long silence. Okay, he repeats. I'll talk to Tammy. I'll tell her she needs to stay away from the girls for a while, and I'll see if I can get her into therapy or something. I don't know. I didn't know it was this bad. Well, now you do. He takes the girls out the next afternoon, just the 3 of them. When they come back, my youngest runs straight to me and wraps her arms around my waist. Daddy says he loves us even though we're girls, she announces happily. My oldest is more reserved, but I can see it in her face too. Relief, like someone lifted a weight she didn't even realize she was carrying. That evening, Tom texts me. I told Tammy about the therapist's recommendation. She didn't take it well. What did she say? She accused me of choosing you over her. She said you're manipulating me and that if I really loved her, I'd let her be part of the girls' lives. And what did you say? I told her that my daughters come first always. For the first time in 2 years, I feel like maybe, just maybe, Tom is actually getting it. But Tammy doesn't go quietly. Over the next few days, I start noticing her car. At first, I think I'm imagining it. I see a blue sedan parked down the street when I leave for work in the morning. The same blue sedan is there when I come home. Then, I see it again when I take the girls to school. It's not until day 3 that I check my doorbell camera footage and confirm it. Tammy has been parking across the street from my house and just sitting there for hours watching. I compiled the timestamps. Monday, 7:15 a.m. to 9:40 a.m. Monday, 4:30 p.m. to 8:20 p.m. Tuesday, 6:50 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. It goes on and on. She's literally stalking my house. I send the footage to Tom with a message. Your girlfriend is sitting outside my house for hours every day. Make it stop. He calls immediately. What are you talking about? Check your email. I sent you the video. I hear him typing then. Oh my God, I had no idea she was doing this. Well, she is, and it's creepy as hell. Tell her to stop or I'm calling the cops. I'll talk to her, he promises, but talking to her doesn't work. The next day, she's back, and the day after that, my neighbors start asking questions. Mrs. Kim from next door knocks on my door one evening. There's been a car parked outside your house a lot lately, she says carefully. I wanted to make sure everything's okay. It's my ex-husband's girlfriend. I admit she's going through some stuff and has boundary issues. Mrs. Kim frowns. You should call the police. That's not normal. She's right, but I want to give Tom one more chance to handle it. I text him that night. She's still showing up every single day. This is harassment, Tom. Fix it or I'm filing a report. His response comes back fast. I'll handle it. I promise. The next morning, I'm in my kitchen making breakfast when I hear a noise outside. A weird sound like something tapping against glass. I look out the window and don't see anything at first. Then, I walk over to my oldest daughter's bedroom. There's a folded piece of paper taped to the outside of her window. I grab my phone and take a picture before opening the window and pulling the note inside. My hands are shaking as I unfold it. I miss you girls so much. Your dad and I love you more than Mommy does. That's it. I'm done. I immediately call Tom. Your girlfriend left a note on my daughter's bedroom window. I say, the second he picks up from the outside. She was in my yard at my child's window in the middle of the night. What? He sounds genuinely shocked. No, she was home all night. She didn't go anywhere. I have the note right here in my hand. Tom, want me to read it to you? Down. Silence. Then I'll come over right now. He shows up 20 minutes later. I hand him the note through the doorway without saying a word. He reads it and his face goes completely white. I'm going to talk to her, he says quietly. You're going to do more than talk to her. I snap because this is escalating. First the messages, then stalking my house, now leaving notes on my children's windows. What's next, Tom? What happens when she decides talking isn't enough and she tries to take them? She wouldn't. You don't know what she would or wouldn't do. I interrupt because apparently you don't know her at all. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to tell her that if she comes near this house, near me, or near our children again, I'm filing a restraining order, and you're going to make her believe it. He nods slowly, still staring at the note. Okay, I'll handle it. He leaves and I spend the next hour on the phone with the police, filing a report. The officer who takes my statement is sympathetic but realistic. Unfortunately, one note isn't enough for a restraining order, he says, but we'll document it. If there's another incident, call us immediately. The more documentation you have, the stronger your case will be. That afternoon, Tom calls me. I confronted Tammy about the note and she admitted it. He says heavily. She said she just wanted the girls to know she still cares about them. She doesn't see what's wrong with that because she's going to be their stepmom soon and she's not going to be their stepmom. I interrupt. Ever. Do you understand that? A woman who stalks children, who manipulates them, who leaves notes on their windows in the middle of the night is never going to be a step-parent to my kids. I know, Tom says quietly. I know. I'm starting to see that she doesn't get it. She really doesn't understand boundaries at all. She thinks her behavior is normal. It's not normal, Tom. It's dangerous. I know, he repeats. I asked her to move out just temporarily while we figure this out. What did she say? She said if I kick her out, she'll tell everyone I'm abusive, that I've been hitting her, and that's why she's so upset all the time. I close my eyes. Of course she did. I'm staying at a hotel tonight, Tom continues. I can't be in the same space as her right now. I need to think. Over the next few days, Tom sees the girl several times, always alone, always at neutral locations like parks or restaurants. They seem happier, lighter, they laugh more. My youngest nightmares finally stop completely. My oldest starts sleeping through the night again. Then on Saturday afternoon, Tom asks if he can talk to me alone while the girls are at a birthday party. We meet at a coffee shop halfway between our houses. He looks exhausted, like he hasn't slept in days. I need to show you something, he says, pulling out his phone. He opens his messages and scrolls through them, then hands me the phone. The messages are all from Tammy, dozens of them sent over the past week. Why are you choosing them over me? I'm the one who loves you, not her. The girls don't even appreciate you. I do. We could have our own family, our own son. Why do you care more about daughters that remind you of your failed marriage? I read through them, feeling sicker with each one. Tom, there's more, he says quietly. Keep scrolling. I do. The messages get worse, more desperate, more manipulative. And then I see it. A message from 2 days ago. If you don't take the ring off and come home, I'm going to make sure everyone knows what kind of father you really are. I'll tell them you abandon your daughters, that you don't pay child support, that you're abusive. I'll ruin you. I hand the phone back. She's threatening you. Yeah. He runs his hand through his hair. I thought I loved her. I really did. But this isn't love. This is obsession. She doesn't care about the girls. She doesn't even really care about me. She just wants to win to replace you entirely. What are you going to do? I'm ending it. He says, today, as soon as I leave here, I'm going back to the house, getting my stuff, and telling her it's over. And then I'm going to focus on rebuilding trust with my daughters because that's what matters. That's all that matters. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out the engagement ring, sets it on the table between us. I never should have left, he says quietly. I'm not saying I want to get back together because I know that ship has sailed, but I should have tried harder. Should have been a better husband, a better father. And I'm sorry I put our girls through this. I don't know what to say to that, so I just nod. Tom leaves the coffee shop, and I sit there for a while longer, staring at the ring on the table. A waitress comes by and asks if I need anything else. Can you throw this away? I ask, pushing the ring toward her. She looks at it, then at me, then picks it up. Rough day, rough 2 years. She smiles sympathetically and walks away with it. I have no idea if she actually throws it out or keeps it. I don't really care. That evening, while I'm making dinner, my phone starts blowing up. Text after text after text. I grab it, thinking something happened to the girls, but it's not that. It's Tammy. The first message is just, "How dare you?" Then you poisoned him against me. This is all your fault. You're a manipulative B-word who can't stand to see anyone else happy. Tom and I were perfect until you turned him against me. I'm coming over. We're going to talk about this. The messages keep coming. I block her number after the 15th one, but then she starts calling from different numbers. I block those too. Then I hear it. A car pulling up outside, tires screeching to a stop, a car door slamming. Mum. My oldest daughter looks up from her homework at the kitchen table. What was that? Stay here, I tell her, moving toward the living room window. Tammy is marching up my driveway and she looks absolutely unhinged. Her hair is messy. Her makeup is smeared like she's been crying and she's wearing pajama pants and a tank top even though it's cold outside. She starts pounding on my front door. I know you're in there. Open this door right now, Mum. My youngest comes down the stairs, her eyes wide with fear. Is that Tammy? Both of you go to your room, I say firmly. Right now, lock the door. Do not come out until I tell you to. They run upstairs. I hear their door close and lock. Then I pull out my phone and dial 911. 911. What's your emergency? My ex-husband's girlfriend is at my house pounding on my door and yelling. I say, keeping my voice calm even though my heart is racing. She's been harassing my children and stalking my home. And I have a police report on file already. I need someone here now. The operator takes my address and tells me officers are on the way. Meanwhile, Tammy is still at my door. You stole him from me. She screams. He was mine. I want him, and you're trying to steal him back by lying about me. I look out the window and see Mrs. Kim and several other neighbors standing in their yards watching. A few of them have their phones out recording. You ruined everything, Tammy continues. Tom only broke up with me because you manipulated him. You told him all those lies about me trying to hurt the girls when I was just trying to be a good stepmom. That's when I hear another car pull up Tom's car. He gets out and rushes up the driveway. Tammy, what the hell are you doing? He shouts. She whirls around to face him. I'm fixing this. She turned you against me, but I'm going to make her tell you the truth. I already know the truth, Tom says, his voice hard. The truth is, you've been messaging my daughters inappropriately for months. You've been stalking this house. You left a note on my child's window, and now you're here making a scene in front of the entire neighborhood because I love you. Tammy screams, I love you, and she's trying to steal you back. Nobody's stealing anybody. Tom says, It's over, Tammy. We're done. I told you that this morning. You need to leave now. I'm not leaving until she admits she's been lying about me. Police sirens sound in the distance, getting closer. Tammy hears them, and her eyes go wide. You called the cops on me, she says, looking at my door. Are you serious right now? You're trespassing and harassing me. I call through the door. What did you expect? 2 police cars pull up. 4 officers get out. One of them is the same officer who took my report about the note. Ma'am, I need you to step away from the door, he says to Tammy. I'm not doing anything wrong. Tammy protests. I just want to talk to her. You were asked to leave and you didn't, the officer says firmly. Step away from the door now. Tom walks over to Tammy and takes her arm, trying to guide her toward the driveway, but she jerks away from him. Don't touch me, she screams. This is your fault. You're choosing your kids over our future, over the son we could have had. You're picking these girls who mean nothing to you over me. The words hang in the air. Several neighbors gasp. Tom's face goes absolutely white. They mean nothing to me, he repeats slowly. You said it yourself, Tammy shouts. You were disappointed when she had daughters instead of a son. You wanted a boy. I was going to give you a boy. I never said that, Tom says, his voice shaking. I never once said my daughters mean nothing to me. How could you even think that? Because it's true, Tammy insists. Deep down, you know it's true. And I was going to give you everything you actually wanted. A new family, a fresh start, a son. But then she had to go and poison you against me with her lies. I'm watching through the window as Tom's face changes like he's seeing Tammy clearly for the first time. Really seeing her. You told my daughters that I don't love them because they're girls, he says quietly. You told them their disappointments to me. You made my children believe they're not good enough, and you think that's love. I was preparing them for reality, Tammy shouts back. For when we have our own family and you finally get the son you deserve. Get off my property, Tom says, his voice cold. Get off her property. Get away from my children and don't ever contact me or my family again. One of the officers steps forward. Ma'am, you need to leave now. If you refuse, we'll arrest you for trespassing. Tammy looks around at all of us, at Tom, at the officers, at the neighbors watching. Her face crumples and she starts to cry. This isn't fair, she sobs. I did everything right. I stole him fair and square. He's mine. The girls are supposed to be mine. It's not fair that she gets to keep everything. She's not keeping me, Tom says flatly. We're divorced. But even if we weren't, I would never choose someone who hurt my children ever. The officer takes Tammy's arm. Let's go. You can either walk to your car voluntarily or we'll escort you there. Your choice. Tammy allows herself to be led to her car. She gets in, still crying, and sits there for a long moment. Then she looks directly at my house and shouts through the open car window. Tom will regret this. He'll realize he gave up someone who actually loved him for you. You'll see. She speeds off down the street. The officers stay for a few minutes, taking statements from me, Tom, and a couple of neighbors. One of them gives me a case number and tells me they'll be documenting everything. If Tammy contacts me or comes back, they'll have enough for a restraining order. After the police leave, Tom stands on my porch. He looks exhausted, defeated, but also somehow relieved. I'm sorry, he says, for all of it, for not seeing what she was doing, for not protecting them sooner, for being an idiot. Apology noted, I say, but you need to be consistent from here on out. The girls need to know they can count on you. No more choosing your girlfriend over them. No more excuses. No more girlfriends, he says firmly. Not for a long time. I need to focus on being their dad. Just their dad. Nothing else matters. Good. He starts to leave, then turns back. She really did say those things to them, didn't she? About me not loving them because they're girls. According to the therapist, yes. His face crumples. I love my daughters more than anything in this world. How could anyone think I don't? Because Tammy wanted to believe it. I say, because it fit the narrative she created in her head where you needed saving from your terrible life, with me and your disappointing daughters. Reality didn't matter. Only her fantasy did. He nods slowly, then walks back to his car. I watch him drive away before going back inside. Upstairs, my daughters are peeking out of their bedroom door. Is she gone? My youngest whispers. She's gone, I confirm. And she's not coming back. Ever? My oldest asks. Ever. They both visibly relax. We go downstairs together and I finish making dinner while they tell me about their day, about school, about normal kid things. It feels like the first normal conversation we've had in months. That night, after they're in bed, I get a text from Tom. I blocked Tammy's number, blocked her on social media too, and I'm changing my locks tomorrow. Good, I text back. The girls asked if they could stay at my place next weekend at my apartment. Just the three of us. If they want to, that's fine with me. Thank you. I set my phone down and lean back on the couch. It's over. Finally, truly over. The next day, I'm at work when my phone rings. It's a number I don't recognize, but I answer anyway. Hi, this is Stacy from Riverside Elementary. I'm calling about the security incident we discussed. Yes, I sat up straighter. We wanted to let you know that Tammy Johnson's account has been permanently banned from our system, and we've also flagged her in our security protocol. If she attempts to enter school grounds or contact any student, our security team will be alerted immediately. Thank you, I say, relief flooding through me. That's really helpful. We take the safety of our students very seriously, Stacy continues. If you need any additional documentation for legal purposes, just let me know. After I hang up, I forward the information to Tom. He responds within minutes. Thank God. Over the next several days, things are quiet, suspiciously quiet. No messages from Tammy, no cars parked outside my house, no notes on windows. It's almost unnerving. Then a week later, Tom calls me. Tammy's been trying to contact me through her friends. She's telling everyone that I'm abusive and that you turned me against her. She's playing the victim on social media. Let me guess. She's making it seem like you abandoned her after she lost the baby. Exactly, Tom confirms. She's posted this long story about how she's been nothing but kind to your daughters and you've been keeping them from her out of jealousy. Do people believe her? Some do, he admits. But a lot of people from work have been reaching out to me. They remember what she said at that party 2 years ago about stealing me away. They're putting 2 and 2 together. What are you going to do? Nothing, he says. I'm not going to engage with it. The people who matter know the truth. Everyone else can think whatever they want. That's probably smart. But Tammy doesn't stop. Over the next few days, the social media posts get more desperate, more detailed, more accusatory. She tags mutual acquaintances, people from Tom's work, even people she barely knows. Tom abandoned me after I lost our baby. His ex-wife has poisoned him against me. She's keeping me from my stepdaughters out of pure spite. I've done nothing but try to love his children, and she won't let me be part of their lives. Some people comment with sympathy, others start asking questions. And then someone from Tom's work, a woman named Patricia who was at that work event 2 years ago, comments with a screenshot. It's a photo from the event posted to Tammy's own social media back then. In the caption, Tammy had written, "Told that pregnant wife she better up her game or I'll steal her man." Challenge accepted. Patricia's comment is simple. For the record, this is what you said before you tried to love his children. The post goes viral within Tom's social circle. More people start sharing their own stories about Tammy, about inappropriate comments she made, about red flags they noticed. About time, she talked about replacing Tom's ex-wife and becoming the mother his daughters actually deserved. Tom calls me that evening. My boss wants to meet with me tomorrow. Why? Apparently, several people have expressed concern about Tammy's behavior, about the original comment she made when you were pregnant, about her recent posts. HR is involved now. That's not your fault, I know, but it's still awkward as hell. He sighed. I'm the guy who left his pregnant wife for a coworker, and now everyone's watching it blow up in my face. Well, I say carefully, you kind of did do that. Yeah, he admits. I really did. The next day, while I'm at work, my phone buzzes with a notification. It's from the school, an automated alert that there was a security incident. I call immediately. This is regarding the alert I just received. Yes. The secretary says Tammy Johnson attempted to enter the building to pick up your daughters. Our security guard stopped her at the door. When she couldn't provide authorization, she became aggressive and had to be escorted off campus. The police were called. Are my daughters okay? They're fine. They were in class during the incident and weren't aware of it. But we wanted you to be informed. Thank you. Please make sure they know not to leave with anyone except me or their father. Already done. And we've updated our protocols. I immediately text Tom. Tammy tried to get the girls from school. What? Security stopped her. Police were called. The girls are fine. I'm going to kill her. Tom types back. Then, not literally, but Jesus Christ. That afternoon, I get a call from a police detective. Sorry, miss. Is it? It's fine. What can I do for you? I'm investigating a complaint filed against Tammy Johnson. I understand you've had multiple incidents with her. Multiple is putting it mildly. Over the next hour, I walk the detective through everything. The messages to the children, the stalking, the note on the window, the scene in my driveway, the attempt to pick up my kids from school. The detective takes notes and asks pointed questions. We're building a case for harassment and attempted custodial interference. He says finally, I'll need you to send me all the documentation you have. Screenshots, doorbell camera footage, police reports, everything. I have it all organized already, I tell him. I can email it to you today. Perfect. And just so you're aware, we'll be recommending charges. This has escalated beyond a simple domestic dispute. After I hang up, I sit there for a moment processing. It's really happening. Tammy is finally facing real consequences. That weekend, Tom takes the girls to his apartment for the first time since the breakup. He's been living there for 2 weeks now, alone, and he's made it nice for them. Set up a bedroom with bunk beds, stocked the fridge with their favorite snacks. When they come home Sunday night, they're happy. Actually happy. My youngest shows me a picture she drew of Daddy's new place. My oldest tells me about the movie they watched and the breakfast they made together. Daddy says Tammy's not going to be around anymore. She adds quietly, he said he's sorry. She said mean things to us. How do you feel about that? I ask. She thinks for a moment. Good. I didn't like her. She was scary. Yeah, my youngest agrees. She made me feel bad all the time. Well, you don't have to worry about her anymore, I assure them. She's not allowed to talk to you or come near you. Good. They both say at the same time, then giggle. That night after they're asleep, Tom texts me. Thank you for what? For not giving up on them, for protecting them when I was too blind to see what was happening, for being a better parent than I deserve. They're my kids, I type back. Of course, I protected them. Still thank you. The next week is blissfully quiet. No Tammy, no drama, just normal life. Work, school, dinner, homework, bedtime routines. Then on Thursday, Tom calls. Tammy's been arrested. What? The detective you talked to? He pressed charges, harassment, stalking, attempted custodial interference, and filing a false police report about the bruises. She was picked up this morning. How do you know? Her mother called me. Tom says she's furious. Blames me for ruining Tammy's life. Says I led her on and then abandoned her. That's ridiculous. I know, but apparently Tammy's been telling her family that I promised to marry her, get her pregnant, and then replace you entirely in the girls' lives. She told them I encouraged her to message the kids, and that you've been keeping me from her out of jealousy. None of that's true, obviously, but her mother believes it. She's threatening to sue me for emotional damages. Can she do that? Probably not. My lawyer says it's an empty threat, but still it's exhausting. I'm sorry. Don't be. Tom says, this is my mess. I'm the one who dated someone completely unhinged. I'm the one who didn't see the red flags. I'm just glad the girls are safe now. Later that evening, my phone buzzes with a message from a number I don't recognize. Against my better judgment, I open it. You ruined my life. Tom only broke up with me because you manipulated him. You turned him against me with your lies. You stole my future. You stole my baby. Everything was perfect until you couldn't stand to see me happy. I hope you're satisfied. Tom's coming back to me once he realizes what a mistake he made. And when he does, your daughters will call me Mom and forget you ever existed. I screenshot the message and forward it to the detective along with Tom. Tom calls immediately. She's out on bail already, apparently. I'm coming over. You don't have to. I'm coming over, he repeats firmly. I don't trust her to stay away. He shows up 20 minutes later with an overnight bag. I'm sleeping on your couch tonight just in case. Tom, you don't. My daughters are in this house. He interrupts, and my unstable ex-girlfriend just threatened you via text message after being arrested this morning. I'm not going anywhere. Honestly, I'm too tired to argue. He sets up camp on the couch with blankets and a pillow, and I go upstairs to check on the girls. They're both asleep, unaware of the drama unfolding around them. The next morning, Tom's still on the couch when I come downstairs to make coffee. He's awake, scrolling through his phone, looking exhausted. Anything happened last night? I ask. No, it was quiet. He sets his phone down, but I got an email this morning from my HR department, and they're recommending I take a week of paid leave while they investigate the situation. Apparently, Tammy's mother called my boss and made accusations that I've been harassing Tammy. That's insane. Yeah, but HR has to take it seriously. So, I'm on leave starting Monday. The girls come downstairs and are surprised to see Tom on the couch. He explains he stopped by early to make them breakfast and they buy it without question. We all eat pancakes together at the kitchen table, and for a moment it feels almost normal. Like we're a family again. Not a romantic family, but a functional one. A safe one. After Tom leaves and I drop the girls at school, I head to work, but I can't focus. I keep checking my phone, waiting for another message from Tammy. Waiting for something bad to happen. Around noon, my phone rings. It's Tom. She violated her bail conditions, he says without preamble. What did she do? She showed up at my apartment, started pounding on the door, screaming about how I need to take her back. My neighbor called the cops. They arrested her again. Good. Her bail's been revoked this time. Tom continues. The judge said she's a flight risk and a danger to others. She's going to stay in jail until her court date. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. How long until the court date? Could be weeks, maybe months. But at least she's not out there anymore. That evening, I tell the girls in simple terms that Tammy got in trouble for breaking rules and that she won't be around for a long time. They accept this with the casual resilience of children and move on to asking what's for dinner. Over the next few weeks, life slowly returns to normal. The girls stop asking about Tammy. Their therapy sessions become less frequent as Dr. Brennan confirms they're making excellent progress. The nightmares are gone completely. The bedwetting has stopped. They're laughing again, playing again, being kids. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel.